My name's Bob Dobson. I'm a retired Assistant Commissioner with the New South Wales Fire Brigades. Joined in 1970 and retired in 2009. I've marched with the ANZAC contingent since the 80s and took over as a coordinator of the ANZAC marches in about 1985. Before I joined the Fire Brigades, I was ex-Navy during the Vietnam era, and I was also Armoury Reserved with the infantry during my service with the Fire Brigades. I very much enjoy coming and seeing a lot of my old friends and colleagues from the Fire Brigades. And I keep saying Fire Brigades because it wasn't Fire and Rescue when I was here. It's a great day. Get to see the old friends, a lot of pride in the organisation, and very well received by the public. Paying respect to the coordinators nowadays, I can tell you that it takes a lot of work, and it's voluntary work. It's not a task given to any specific person by their position or rank. It's a bit of a social activity, because not only do we get here after the march, we have all these different people from all over the place coming through, paratroopers and all sorts of things, who identify this as their area they like to meet after their march. So it's really good, and they're all very impressed with this heritage area. And of course that roll of honour behind us, which shows some significant numbers of firefighters that went to the First War, and many of them didn't return. In 1990, the 75th anniversary of Gallipoli, I was in Gallipoli at the time, and on behalf of the brigades laid a wreath at the Lane Pine Memorial for two firefighters that joined up and died at Gallipoli. One was Percy Tuck and the other one was Arthur Smith, and their names are on the memorial because they have no known grave. And the Turkish Fire Service sent down an officer, and we both acknowledged their sacrifice, and very poignant moment in time for us and the brigades, I would suggest. The fire brigades have always been at the forefront of serving our nation, not only as firefighters but certainly as ex-services. Indeed, if you go back to the Metropolitan Fire Brigade of 1884, the very first bylaws indicated preference of employment to sailors, simply because they were used to heights, being up in the mast and things, and they were good at cordage work. So there was a high proportion of sailors in the New South Wales Fire Brigades. And I know we've had a lot of our young firefighters go over to Iraq with 3 Commando and all that sort of stuff. So the service continues not only through the Fire Brigade but through defences. And my belief is ANZAC Day is not only, as I said, to commemorate the old, but to acknowledge the service. And our young firefighters, whether they're male or female, should be very proud of what they do and be very proud of their service to our nation. The tradition has always been that as the contingent moves off in front, behind the band, that the Commissioner stands out the front of the watch room and takes a salute as the contingent marches to its formation point. Then once the march starts, what we put in place was, as we came past the cenotaph and paid our respects, we turned left into George Street. Immediately on the right, the War Widows sit as a contingent, as a part of the public gathered to witness the march. And of course, War Widows have husbands who've passed on who were servicemen. And we made it a point that we gave them an eyes right salute. And we've been doing that for many, many, many years. And it's funny to look at it, knowing it's coming. They know it's coming, and you can see them start to sit up in their seats waiting for it to come. And it's a great feature of the march, and always very well received. It's a great day, and it just doesn't finish with the march. It comes here and we have the barbecue, and usually provided by the students from the college, and we have light refreshments, of course, if you like, with approval, and it goes on for a few hours. A lot of people come in off the street to see it, and it's a great day. Rosemary is usually taken as a sprig and is placed in behind the ribbon bar of your medal rack. Rosemary is for sacrifice and memory. It grew on the cliffs at Gallipoli. It still grows there. And I can recall one year there's very, very heavy rain. Most of the other contingents are all scattered and ducked in, but not the fire brigade. They just kept marching straight through it. And that makes me proud of the commitment of our firefighters. It's brilliant. I'd like to see it maintained. I'd like to see the service that we have here, which is a very significant service, maintained. with the Roll of Honour. One of the first projects I did after I left the fire brigade was I recovered some salvaged timbers from the station doors of the 1887 fire station after the renovations. And I took that home and worked on it, and I constructed a cross of sacrifice, which I had permission from the Department of Veteran Affairs, and they sent me the plans to build. And it now features every Anzac Day as part of our service. We have the bell service, we have the display cabinet, and of course we honour the members on the honour roll. So 8 o'clock on an Anzac Day here is very significant for fireys. There's a special acknowledgement for a leading firefighter, Hammond, who was killed out the front of the fire station on one Anzac Day in the afternoon, trying to protect a woman from a bag thief, and we always tagged that service, little service, for him at the end of our service. The traditions in this area are long and extensive for fire brigade, but they're also long and extensive for our ex-service personnel's history. I'd like to see that maintained and the traditions go on, but with the younger firefighters who have done service, to be proud again of that service in both organisations. So if that can go on, I'll go away and die happy.